I'd like to welcome everybody again to the Mayor Fred Hunter Show on this beautiful day in downtown Anaheim. We're on Anaheim Boulevard at the house of Grandma Lois, and we're here with Pastor Phil Aguilar, who is the pastor of the Set Free Christian Church. And Phil, thanks for being on my show.
All right, brother. Glad to be here with you.
You good. Now, Phil, you've been around Anaheim for how long?
42 years now, my whole life, brother. I've been here, born and raised in a family of 7 children. Mom and Dad went to Anaheim High School. We're lifers here. We're here for good, brother.
Oh, and I know that. And about 8 years ago, after you went through some ministry and to what I call a fundamental Bible college, you started the Set Free Church.
Yeah, I spent the first 28 years of my life kind of terrorizing Anaheim, but then I became a Christian, and I gave my life over to the Lord to be used, and I started in a fundamental church, and then I had a vision from God. I believe it was from God, just helping out all kinds of people, so we started a place called Set Free Christian Church in downtown Anaheim here.
Yeah, and when you first started, it wasn't like it is now. There's been a lot of rough roads to get to where you're at now. Is that correct?
Well, I'll tell you, it started with just a handful of us. We started in the living room of a friend's house, and then we started renting a little building, a little storefront, a little bit bigger one, then a little bit bigger one. And we've watched God just increase and bless us, and now literally thousands of people come through our door on a weekly basis, and it's only just begun. We're going to continue to be a strong moving force in downtown Anaheim.
Now, you're a church that is different than what most people who are probably watching this program, who go to church on Sunday morning and put on their Sunday morning best suit, and then go to church Sunday night, and then on a Wednesday Bible study, and that's kind of it. You're open all the time, aren't you?
Yeah, well, you know, when I was about 18, Fred, I don't share this too often, but I was 18, I was looking for God, and I was baptized as a baby, and the church said I was baptized, and I went to that church one night about 11 o'clock for help, and that's where I thought God lived. So I went knocking on that door, and nobody opened up. I couldn't get in, and it made me kind of bitter and upset at God, and I said, boy, you know, if I had a church, not knowing that I would someday, if I had a church, I'd have it open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in case anybody needed help. So Set Free, we've taken that approach to be there whenever people need help, because sometimes at midnight somebody might want to take their life, somebody might need food, they might need housing, and I wanted to be like God is, open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so that's what we've done with our church.
Which is really amazing, you know, down here, and from talking to you, one of the words you mentioned was volunteerism. All the people that are involved do it on a volunteer basis. Nobody's paid.
It's hard to believe, because in this day and time we live, most people go on preachers just doing it for money and all this type of thing. And I went to Baptist Bible College. I've been educated, and the Bible teaches that a servant is worthy of his hire. But yet, I found in the Bible that we're not to do it for money's sake, and that we're to be volunteers. And like we heard Kennedy say before, don't ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And I found out that it's good, don't ask what your church can do for you, but what you can do for your church. And so we have a staff of probably 100 almost full-time volunteers, no salary, who have left jobs to work full-time in the ministry here. And that's what keeps our overhead nice and low, but it makes it able so we can give away tons of food, clothing, lease homes to take people in, house them, and do that. Volunteerism is at the heart of Set Free Christian Fellowship, and it builds a heart as doing it as unto the Lord, not for the pocketbook, because I don't care what you get paid, seems like you can spend a little bit more than you make.
Yeah, everybody lives beyond their means. One of the things, if the people that are watching this program, you might live in Anaheim Hills or in the West End and you haven't been downtown Anaheim, or if you live downtown Anaheim and you're watching this show, you can't miss Set Free and the people that are down here in the house of Timothy and the house of Paul. And one of the reasons I said I wanted to do this show is to overcome some apprehension some people might have about you, Phil, and about your church and what you're doing. Because you do look a little different. Not basically you, but the church. You got, you know, I've heard some people say, well, that's lowriders for Jesus downtown Anaheim. But I know better, because I'm down here, and I know what you're doing, and you're doing a great work. But these different houses here and the people that come, you just open your arms up to everybody.
That's it. You know, one of the things that Phil Aguilar is all about, so people can know a little bit more about me, is just a regular guy raised in a regular city like this with a regular mom and dad. But when I was 13, my mom and dad got divorced, and it affected me as the oldest of 7 children. And my mom had to go to work to raise us up, so I sought my counsel, and I found it on the street corner, and their counsel was smoke this, drink this, drop that, shoot this. And so I got involved with narcotics at an early age, and my life just went downhill. And after 14 years of drugs and violence, I ended up in state prison, and it was there that I asked Jesus Christ to come into my life. And I said, you know, when I get out and go back to that city of Anaheim, I want to do something for that city. I want to be a blessing to the police force. I want to be a blessing to the city council, the code enforcement. I want to try to be a help to the elderly and all those. And what's Set Free is we are a group of people who are trying to bless our community. We do it through music, through helps. We help people mow lawns. We just want to be a blessing. But I'm doing it in a different approach. The Bible says to become all things to all people that you might win some to Christ. That's why we have bikers there. We have lowriders, we have surfers, we have punkers, we have businessmen, we have jocks, every kind. And we say, don't change the outside. That's no big deal. Just let your heart be changed. Because men look on outward appearance, but God looks on the inward man of the heart. And so our philosophy is that, hey, we don't care what you look like when you come to church. And so when people come around Set Free, there's some radical looking characters, but their hearts are changed.
Yeah.
And we have bikers that do the ushering in our church. And when you see these big 250-pound guys at the door, you go, let me see here. But after service is over, you go, well, they're big teddy bears. And then you'll learn to see the people are people. Phil Aguilar, no matter what it may look like, he rides a Harley Davidson, rides down the street. He wears black. He looks a little radical, but he just loves people. That's where he's all at.
And you're doing a good work down here, and I know that the cleanliness is unbelievable. I mean, you've got, no matter where you're involved, it is spotless, folks. There is not a speck of anything anywhere at all of your places.
We volunteer Cinco de Mayo festivals, city Halloween festivals. We do all the cleanup after all those things, and we do it just as a blessing. It's a simple little way we can show that we care about our city. And I say that at the bottom of my heart. I love the city of Anaheim. I pray for our city council members. The code enforcer, John Poole, is one of my closest friends. We just really love what's going on in the city, and we don't need anybody to pay us to try to be a help. We're getting kids off of drugs, off of alcohol. We're trying to be big brothers to them. We're trying to help in any way we can, because that's it. And cleanliness is just shows a good effort that we're taking that extra time.
Yeah. Okay, we're here at the house of Grandma Lois, and then next door is the house of
Paul,
and then the house of
Timothy.
And you have other leased houses in this area where you house people.
We lease about another 8 homes plus this. Plus in our church, about 3 or 4 of the families take in people. And so we house over 200 men, women, and children a night.
A night?
A night, feed them 3 meals a day. And
all that's done through volunteerism.
All
it's
donated
unbelievable.
Food.
Yeah.
No
all
state,
donated food.
No federal, no government commodities like that. It's just people who say, hey, I like what they're doing. We want to help out. All volunteerism, and it doesn't cost the city a thing. That's the neat thing about it, Fred.
That's what I want to bring a point up. You're not costing the federal government anything, the state government, city government, a dime.
Not one dime. We help out in graffiti cleanup.
I know you did. And the alley cleanup.
We love it because we like working hand together with the city. And the thing that always shocks some people is they see the way some of our people look. Some of them got long hair.
And the bikers, yeah. A lot of people are just naturally afraid of people on motorcycles anyways. Even if it was a straight person, if I was riding a suit on a motorcycle, a lot of people think that guy's strange just because I'm on a motorcycle.
Right.
Yeah, no, there is that people.
We're outlaws for the good. I got to admit, I like to wear black and look a little bit radical, but it's just because it's fun and an enjoyable thing.
And you're doing a good work. You really are for a lot of people. You know, Phil and I, we go back, folks, a long way.
A long way.
Years ago, I was a cop in Anaheim and worked dope, and here we are, you know, many years later. And, you know, the dope problem's worse now, Phil, than it's ever been.
Fred, I'm telling you, you're thinking and my thinking, putting it together and with others, I'm telling you, though, we've got some good strategy to really
turn it around
in the city of Anaheim.
Yeah, and then maybe be a model. That's what I'm talking about. You know, here I am talking with you in downtown Anaheim, and in about 2 weeks from now, I've got a personal appearance with Bill Bennett, our drug czar. And I met with some of his staff, and he said that, or his staff said, they're looking at two things. Volunteerism, you're a prime example, and privatization. You know, just taking federal money and throwing it at this drug problem, that ain't going to solve it, is it, Phil?
Oh, Fred, I was a drug addict for 14 straight years. I was a heroin, cocaine addict. You know what? It isn't a nice tilt-up beds. It isn't somebody coming in with a nice white outfit and say, would you like a little more medication? No, it happens to be hard, cold turkey detoxing. I mean, it has to be, we got to say, not just no to drugs, but what are you going to say yes to? We've got to give them some other alternative other than drugs. We've got to have a strategy where it shows them we care about them, not because we're getting paid to do this, but because we just care about the people. If someone knows you love them, they'll listen to you. And a lot of people know these drug programs and all these rehab centers. A lot of it, Fred, we both know that there's a lot of money-making operations.
It's just money-making operations. And when I'm back to talking to Bennett, I said, you can't take this federal money and just throw it out there and expect to solve the drug problem. Well, no, that ain't going to do it. And like you said, you used the word love. I mean, but we got to show people we care.
That's right.
And I think Anaheim, and I don't think I know, Anaheim is a community where, and the more I get involved, where people really care about each other, and if people know that, they're going to, you know, straighten their lives around. You know, I've had problems. You've had problems. You know, I've made mistakes. You've made mistakes. And the people out there watching on television, you've made mistakes too. But if we love each other, we can turn things around.
Hey, I'm telling you, Fred, this isn't by chance we got together like this. We didn't know what we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
But here I am, an ex-drug addict downtown, ex-police officer downtown, but we're working for the same cause. We're going to get some things straightened out around here because we care about people, all kinds of people. We're talking about all the Mexican people that moved into the city now, and it's just the demographics have changed here so much. But we've got people like Bill Taramina and others who really care about people. The Hortons, I'm telling you, we're gonna see big major changes, and God's going to use us to do it. And Anaheim's going to, I believe, be one of the leaders in getting rid of this deterrent of drugs and watching young kids raised up different. I really believe that.
One of the things, not only in your ministry that you have down at Set Free, and while we're talking, hopefully they're showing the front of your place down there and some of the things that you folks do around the city, like clean up and going around. But you also have a ministry in Spanish.
Oh, that's
También
right.
also at Set Free.
We have a full Spanish church there, and every day of the week we hand out clothing and food to our Spanish-speaking people who are a little bit afraid sometimes to go around Anglos, but we just love them, and we have Bible study. We have our own Spanish choir. I mean, it's just great to see us coming together and being one. We've got to learn how to live together and not judge by the outward appearance again.
Yeah.
We've got to realize they're just regular people who are looking to be able to pay the bills and feed their children.
You know, that reminds me of a story when you say, you know, not judging by the outward appearance. When I was working dope back in the 60s, you know, I had long hair. And I still remember this. I went into the old Wonder Bowl down by Disneyland, and I went in there to get a cup of coffee. And I was a police officer, you know, and they threw me out because I had long hair.
Yeah.
And so when people, you know, look at like you say, look at the outward appearance, folks, don't just do that. You got to see what's on the inside.
That's right.
And that's what the point that you're doing. A lot of people, most people who say Set Free downtown, they say, well, they're not normal-looking people, okay? But you know what? You guys are doing, and girls, you're doing a great work down here.
Well,
you really are.
We really appreciate it, and like I said, we love working with the leadership of our city here because we want to see changes, and especially young people's lives. I have 5 children of my own. I have a teenager and 4 other younger children, and we want to see them raised up in a city where they can walk up and down the streets, ride their bike at night, and not have to worry about drug dealers everywhere like that. And I'm real militant about it, Fred, and I know you are too. We're very aggressive about it, and we're going to do everything we can to make this city from the center out.
And I think that's a very good point, from the center out. And some of you folks up there that might be watching this in Anaheim Hills in your $500,000 home, you ought to, you know, get up off the couch or the chair, and you ought to come downtown Anaheim if you really want an experience, and tell folks out there, Phil, you know, where your church is located at, and what time is the services, you know, if they wanted to come on down.
Well, Set Free is open 7 days a week, and we're located 320 North Anaheim Boulevard, right off the corner of Lakewood Avenue and Anaheim Boulevard. And remember, we're open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and everybody in Anaheim Hills Beverly
West
Hills,
Anaheim.
Laguna Hills. Everybody's invited to come down here anytime. Come by the homes over here and wave. But everybody's got somebody they're dealing with in their family that's hooked on drugs.
And in Anaheim Hills, there's people up there too, because
That's
crack
right.
is cheap. We've got a lot of young, rich kids that are on crack. I know it.
They can come.
They go to Canyon High School. They go to Loera High School. You know, they go to Catella. It don't make no difference what school anymore. You know, it used to be where they said, well, it was Fremont and Brookhurst where, you know, where the poor kids go, they're on dope. No, folks, that ain't right.
All the high schools, as a matter of fact, a lot of the kids that got a little bit more money up there are doing it.
It's a curse sometimes to have all that money.
Right.
And, but if they came down here on a Sunday morning at 10 and 10 a.m., they would really have an experience.
You'd have an experience, you have a great time, hearing a good message, good music, but you'd meet some people who've been set free of this drug addiction. And I know a lot of you parents right now who are listening in right now know your son or your daughter. Maybe you're afraid to even investigate. You know they're using some drugs. Bring them down here from somebody who's been there before, and we can help them get set free, and you can have a new child be given back to you. And it's going to be done through people like Fred and the police department and others, all of us working together for a new generation raised up.
You know, one of the things, Phil, you and I talked about, and I say this very seriously, you know, all the years that I put people in jail, and all the years I worked dope and everything, and here we're 25 years later, it didn't work. Didn't work. That didn't do anything.
Yeah,
I'm
keep
telling you.
warehousing them.
Yeah, and that's it. We warehouse them. You know, recidivism, they're in prison, out,
I went
back
in at 18 for marijuana, and that's where I found out about cocaine.
Yeah, it just got worse.
That's it.
So it's got to be a change from inside, you know.
Right. That's,
And
absolutely right. Boy.
So, and when I'm back there talking to Bennett, you know, I'm going to say, hey, you know, just don't take these millions of dollars and throw it out there, because we're not going to turn this country around that way.
That's right.
Yeah,
Got to be people all getting involved. It's kind of like when we do neighborhood cleanups around here. We get out doing it. You see other people start coming out of their home and start, boy, I should be helping out. That's got to say example.
That's it. And it's going to be block by block, community by community, that turns this country around on drugs. And I think right here, this block, this Anaheim Boulevard block, is really an example.
Hey, let me tell you,
This is an example right here.
I don't want to name names, but there's some businesses that are owned on this block where they were cocaine users, and now they come to our church. Their lives have been changed, and now that same one, they're not selling cocaine out of their businesses anymore. That's how it happens. It happens one family at a time, one person at a time, one business at a time, one area of the community at a time, and it just works its way out.
And that's exactly what's going on. And this synergism, this downtown Anaheim on a turnaround, you use better words than I do, because that's what you're doing now. It's just going to go out. And I feel it down here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm down here.
It's not just the buildings, but it's the people too who's changing. And like it says, it's because we can't turn our heads anymore, because it's our own children now.
Yeah.
It's our own children, and if we don't wake up, it's going to be our own son or daughter hooked on drugs or pregnant or whatever, or some kind of violent crime. We've got to join together, and we are our brother's keeper.
Yeah, and that's true. Yeah. A lot of people say, well, I'm not my brother's keeper. That's not my problem. Well, folks, it is. It's everybody's problem now. And the moral decay in this country has come about because of drugs. I really believe that. And it's turning around. What do you see in the future? You know, I'm going to hit you with something you probably, what do you see in the future? Here, you've been doing this 8 years, and things are going, I think, good for you down here, and you're getting a lot of recognition and respect because you deserve it. But what do you see in the future for Set Free?
Well, for Set Free, we've started a ranch in Paris, a detox ranch. We have one in Dallas. We have one in Chicago. We plan on, probably within this next year, having one in Atlanta, Georgia, one in Seattle, Washington, one in Oklahoma City. And
now, how do you do all that?
Well, we have people that really believe in what we're doing. They see the results. Thousands of changed lives. People that were lazy bums, now they're workers, they're people of character now, and they're responsible people. People who were drug addicts who now are clean and sober and full of life. People whose marriages were broken up, they see the marriages being put back together. They see results here, and they go, you know what? I want to put some, seed in that soil. That's some good soil right there. So they'll donate money or food.
Now, all these
clothing.
Ranches and these drug detox and everything, no federal money, no government money, no government at all.
No loans, brother. No savings and loans, no bills, no gotta beg people for money to try to pay the bills. None of that stuff, brother. It's all people who've donated it for the use of the ministry as set free. And that's on the international basis, going out like that all over the world. We're helping people work in that area. On a local level for the city of Anaheim, I see this. I see all of the city council. I'm familiar with all the people on there, and I think we have a great city council. And I just want to, in the future, work closer in a way to where they'll see, hey, these other programs aren't working. Let's just take some time and listen and see what they're doing to set free that might help out. I'm looking in the future that we're going to be able to work in all the high schools, junior high schools, elementary school, and a lot of the people on my staff are going to be able to work together for free to help out, not charge for a seminar, this or that, but give real lives and testimonies, and then have youth programs and other alternatives, like the Y's doing, like other pro-Salvation Army, but even on a larger scale where we can do things for our young people in this city. I see us really doing some proactive movements for especially, I always say the young people, because they're our new generation.
Well, and they are our new generation, and it's almost like it's like we're recycling trash. I hate to say this, but we're going to recycle a whole new generation through education and doing it right, and changing from the heart. And when this whole new recycled generation comes, hopefully they'll be drug-free community because of that.
I'm telling you, and the major thing that's going to have a change is one of the things that Set Free is known of the most is we wake up Jesus, we eat afternoon Jesus, we have dinner time Jesus, we go to bed Jesus, because we know that Jesus is the answer to every need. Without a relationship with God, there's really no hope. And people have left that, and they forget that God's in charge. I mean, and He really wants us to have a great life. And I'm living proof of it, and I know you are too, that God loves us very, very much. And that's what motivates me and the whole Set Free crew to keep going.
Keeps everything turned around. Downtown Anaheim is a place that you people out there, again, just when you get a chance, drive Anaheim Boulevard, drive Lincoln, drive down by City Hall. I have my friends up in the hills. They don't even know where City Hall is. I hate to say that. And a lot of people in Anaheim Hills think, they live in Anaheim Hills. And of course, we don't live in Anaheim. But folks, it's just one big city. We're one big community.
All together.
It doesn't make any difference. And even though it may be more affluent, they have the same problems. They have divorce, booze, drugs, the stress of life.
We're all the same.
Same problems. We're all human beings. And I really want to thank everybody. See, like, just sitting here, this guy has got it so great, because a lot of people don't have this. You can just sit here with Phil, and the trash trucks go by and wave. Other people go by and wave. And that's got to be a good feeling. That's got to be a good feeling for you.
Well, I'll tell you,
that means people respect you.
It's a whole lot better than having Officer Mooney and all the police department after me all the time. And Detective Walters was the last one to lock me up, and
now he's the head of security at Disneyland.
Yeah, good Christian friend now too, and it's neat how God changed his life.
Disneyland, I got to bring this out. You guys won an award.
Last year we were the first place prize for the Social Community Services Award for the city of Anaheim,
and that's a very prestigious award, especially coming from Disneyland.
Well, yeah, we just put down the facts of what we do, and they were amazed because we're amazed too on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Of all the people God feeds.
Do you ever get apprehensive? Say, how am I going to feed all these people and house these people? Because you just open your arms up to anybody. Now,
every once in a while I go, God, if you don't do it, I don't know how it's going to happen. Very much so. Every once in a while.
Sure. How am I going to, how are we going to feed all these people every day?
One day at a time, definitely.
Yeah, that's very good. Anyways, I want to thank everybody for watching the Mayor Fred Hunter Show, and here with Phil Aguilar in downtown Anaheim. And a place where there's so much energy down here. I feel it. But believe it or not, because I spend all my time down here as a lawyer and as the mayor, and I live in the hills, but the energy is really down here. There's so much, and there's so many people. I just looking out here, and things are moving and shaking downtown Anaheim.
All the time.
Yeah,
I
know it. Thank you very much for joining me on my show. And when you get a chance, come on downtown Anaheim. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you, my friend.
The House of Paul it's changed me as a person. I had a different opinion about what Christianity was when I first came here. I was working I was maintaining a job and everything, but yet I was empty on the inside. And although I had been going to different churches, I didn't understand the real meaning of Christianity until I came here.
For 9.5 years, I've been separated from my wife, and the Lord provided a place where my kids can come stay with me. So I have my 2 daughters with me now. So the Lord is doing mighty works in this house in my life.
I got God on my side now, whereas before I didn't even know he existed.
I've been here set free for about 7.5 months, and it's really helped me out some towards my attitude and my outlook on life, and Lord's really been doing good things in my life and changed me a lot.
A couple of years ago, we had a wonderful occasion like this where we dedicated the House of Paul. Here now, don't use it.
Yeah, we brought the fences down. We put picnic benches in the back so we can have our barbecues. We built a little gym back there so they can have recreation together, little basketball court, big playground for all the children to come, little wading pool for the kids to be able to get wet in the summertime in. We've made it a dual family home project here, and we have anywhere from 20 to 50 people at a time right here on the property here that we're working with.
When others see with earthly eyes just what they want to see, you will see the things that never die.